Hey everybody, it's Sunday. I'm hoping you guys are having a good weekend. I wanted to start first by saying, there was a Hurricane Florence, that hit North Carolina, and last time I checked, there were 11 deaths as a result of the hurricane. So I first wanted to start out by letting those who lost, loved ones, letting them know that I'm thinking of you, and I wanted to express my condolences, and just please just hang in there. So that's the first thing I wanted to mention. Um, so for the past few videos I've been talking to teens and young adults about planning an exit from the cult, right? And so I'm going to continue along that same chain of thought. And so this time we are going to be talking about two subjects today. The first one is socializing, right? And building social circle. And then that will be followed by budgeting, okay? So let's start with socializing. So, as you know, when you raise a Jehovah's Witness, you're not allowed to have any non JW friends, right? And when I was growing up, my mom cut us off from non JW family as well. And, so the minute my family became JWs, there's like the great divide, and our relatives, we just drifted apart from each other. So, that was one, like I said, that was one issue that really negatively impacts us while growing up as Jehovah's Witnesses. All of our friends, our social circle is only other JWs. And so when we leave, we lose all those friends. We lose our family members that are JWs. Um, for many of us, especially like me, we grow up in that cult. So anyone that knows us from childhood, we've lost contact with them now. We've been cut off from them now. All our childhood friends that are JWs were cut off from all of them. So it really becomes problematic for a lot of us. So, and that's exactly what the cult wants. The cult wants us to feel a sense of nostalgia and longing for the old days and my friends and my family and the familiar. And so that's what they're doing by using that policy of shunning when we leave is they want us to feel isolated. They want us to feel, you know, out like an outcast. And then that feeling to hit us so strong and to make us feel so, horrible that we go back. Okay. And so me personally, and I've said this a gazillion times on Facebook, I do not validate any of Watchtower's methods. None of them. None of them. I just don't. I'm not going to allow them to exploit the love I feel for my family members and use it for their own selfish purposes. I'm not going to allow them to do that. I'm not going to allow them to emotionally manipulate me and to hijack me and to use those emotions to bend to their will. So, that's one thing. Like I said, I do not validate any of Watchtower's nonsense. None of it. I don't acknowledge it. I don't participate in any of it. I just do not validate any of it. So that's first. Um, and so that's why if you are a teen and you're still in school, it is important that you start socializing as much as you can with non-JW people. Does that mean you need to start smoking and doing all this stuff? No. But you just need to be comfortable being yourself around them. All right. And so that's the main thing that I want you guys to pick up. That I'm not asking you to go on a wild streak. I'm just asking you to become you know comfortable in socializing with other worldly kids. Okay, so that's first. Second, if you're a young adult, the same applies. You have to expand your social circle, and sometimes we get questions, but how do I do that? How do I do that? So I'm going to list ways you can do that. All right. If you're working, you should be socializing with your coworkers. So invite them to go to coffee, get a cup of coffee. You can invite them to go eat lunch with you. Invite them, try to organize a small group. You go bowling after work. So there's there's opportunities for you to socialize with other, people who are non-JWs. If you're a college student, I mean, you're you should be socializing with your other classmates, right? So again, you have plenty of opportunities to make friends. So those, the main thing is you want to keep placing yourself in social settings where you'll meet people. So I'll give you another example. You go to cafes, the library, you volunteer. Um, you, like I said, you just keep placing yourself in social settings. If you have a hobby or something that you're interested in, you try to find clubs or events that focus on that hobby, and then you keep attending those events. Um, I'll give you an example. If you're a Trekkie, if you're a Star Trek fan, they have those Star Trek events all over the country every single year. And so, that's a good way if of making friends. You may join a group and say, hey, listen, a Facebook group or whatever, and say, listen, they're having a convention here in New York. Is anyone interested in going? We can meet up, blah blah blah. So then there you go. Again, you want to just keep working on expanding your social circle. The other way you can Another way you can expand your social circle is the XJW meetups. They happen all over the country. There's a meetup app, and you can use that to find other XJWs. And again, they plan events throughout the year, and so it gives you a chance to meet other XJWs and to interact and have, again, you don't feel so isolated, because that is essentially the point of shunning, and that is what we're getting is the what we're trying to avoid. We're trying to avoid you feeling isolated and alone and all this. So absolutely, you want to keep looking for opportunities to socialize. Another good way to socialize is online. There's plenty of us in the XJW community. We're on Reddit. We're on Facebook. There's plenty of opportunities for you to socialize with us. So again, that's another way to expand your social circle. Another way to do this is, I'm a big fan of the Scientology show. It's called Aftermath with Leah Remini, and I love that show. So I'm in the Facebook group, and when they have meetups, when the Aftermath group does meetups, I try to attend. They had one down in Clearwater back in the spring. I attended that. They came here to New York a few days ago, and so I was able again, I was able to meet up with them there. So again, that's an opportunity. So you're mingling with other ex-cult members who share a similar history to yours, and they can relate to what you're going through. So that's important. That's important. You don't want to discount that. Again, you just want to expand your social circle as wide as you possibly can. And so I've heard people say that they feel socially awkward, and it just feels strange to them, and it will feel strange. It will. You're gonna feel like a fish out of water when at first, but you just work through it. You keep going, and it doesn't matter if it feels strange to you. Just keep at it. Like I said, Watchtower does this to us intentionally. They want us to feel like a fish out of water. They want us to feel so miserable that we go running back to them. So again, like I said, your emotions are being hijacked. They're being hijacked, and they're being used, for Watchtower's, personal interest. So so please do not, like I said, even though you may feel a little bit strange, work through it. Keep at it. Don't give up. Don't get frustrated. We've all been there. We all know. We've all experienced it. Again, Watchtower hardwires into our brains that non-JW people are the worst. They're the worst people you'll ever deal with. Blah blah blah. So it's going to take time for that thinking and that programming to subside. And the only way it's going to subside is by you continuously putting yourself in situations where you're talking to and interacting with non-JW people. And so keep at it. Keep at it. Don't give up. Just keep at it. And also, there are books in the library that you can just borrow on socializing. I'm going to list them below. But yeah, you want to, even if you need help from, you know, others who have written on the subject that can help you with, overcoming anxiety or feeling awkward in talking to and socializing with others, that, again, there's help. So, in other words, we just don't want you to give up. The XJW community is out here. We just don't want you to give up and go back to the cult. So that's the main thing. So that's the section on socializing. The next subject we're going to talk about is budgeting. So one of the first things that we should mention is as JWs, our parents really don't go much into budgeting with us. They don't, talk over money issues with us. Primarily, their thinking is, well, you're going to go into the paradise earth anyway. You don't need to know all of this, right? And so we don't really think towards about our future and all of this stuff, planning for the future, saving up for our futures. We don't really think about our retirements and all this. We just, it pretty much is you just go into the new system, so you don't need to know. And so many of us have horrible budgeting skills, right? Um, and so that's what I wanted to talk to you about today is with budgeting. So one of the first things is, remember in the first video on this series that I did, I mentioned if you're a teenager, you should be trying to earn money, and that's anything, babysitting, dog walking, shoveling snow, mowing lawns. If you can get an after school job, say at McDonald's or Wendy's or whatever it takes, you should be trying to get some sort of income. So that's important. Okay. Another thing you should be doing as a teen. Now, remember, as a teenager, you're planning for your exit from the cult. So you want to be saving as much as that money as you can. That's you don't want to go spending it on unnecessary stuff. But the other thing that you want to be doing as well is you want to be preparing to go to college, right? And so part of course, when you go to college, you don't want to incur all of this tuition debt and all of this fees and all this stuff. So you want to try to figure out how can you go to college for, either for free or for as little cost as possible. And so you should ask your teachers and guidance counselors for help in planning your college, everything, which college you attend. How can community college is cheaper than say Ivy League colleges. Again, you want to apply for scholarships as early as you can. Research scholarships, and apply for them. And you want to keep an organized list of which organizations you apply to and everything. You want to keep all of that organized because, depending on what type of scholarship it is, if it's a full ride scholarship, then you're set, right? That's when they pay for your whole tuition, the whole thing, the whole enchilada is paid for. If it's one of those scholarships that they only pay for a semester and you have to keep applying each semester if you want that same scholarship again, that again, you want to keep all of that, the data and the information regarding each scholarship you apply for, you want to keep it organized. All right. So again, community college is cheaper. You want to you want to look into tuition-free colleges. There are a few colleges that are beginning to offer this, so you want to look into it. All right, but that's basically, you want to start planning your college, tuition early on. Again, you don't want to end up with all of these fees and college tuition debt and all this stuff. So apply for it early. Start 9th, 10th grade and researching as much as you can about scholarships. And again, involve your teachers and your guidance counselors to help you. And again, treat because remember, you don't want to end up with any debt that you don't have to. So think of it as if you're trying to save yourself some money by doing that, and the more money you can save now before you enter college. I mean, when I say save, meaning that if you can get tuition fees down to the cheapest as possible, then once you graduate college, you won't have all of this debt, and that's what a lot of students are concerned with. They don't want to graduate college and then have this humongous debt sitting over them. So, and I completely agree, and it's understandable. So, absolutely, you want to keep you want to keep researching it so that you can go to college and do so for as cheaply as possible. The other thing is, and this is for 18, 19-year olds who are entering college, right? So you've done your research, you're now in college. You want to try to work during, while you're in college, part time or whatever. You want to try to get, make sure you have a job. Another thing you want to do is with credit cards. Sometimes when young college kids, they get into college, they get hit with all these offers. Would you like this credit card? Would you like this one? You've been pre-approved, blah blah blah. If you can resist the credit card, that the credit card offers, that would be great. Don't accept any kind of credit cards. Don't if, don't incur any debt that you don't need to have. Basically, you just want to focus on getting through college. The other thing is, usually with your student ID cards, with college student ID cards, they get you discounts, so they may get you $2 off of off of a museum ticket, admission ticket, a few dollars off of if you go to movies. So that student ID card comes with discounts in various stores and things like that, entertainment options. So definitely, if you are going to do something like you want to for entertainment, try use that student ID card first and use those discounts because those that will help you save money. And so you're not. I mean, again, you want to keep those fees and things as low as possible. Of course, you need entertainment, but because you're on a tight budget, you don't want to. You want to try to save where you can, and those discounts really do help you save. So use your student ID card. Um, And again, there's online, and I'm going to put this in the description area below. There are budgeting websites and things that help you track your spending. Um, there's there's sites that explain how much you should be spending, and how much you should be spending versus how much you should be saving. All right. So, for example, it mentions that after you paid, 50% of your paycheck on expenses such as rent, food, the necessities. Um, there's I think it said 30% that you spend on wants, and then 20% should be going to savings and paying off debt. And so it's called the 50-30-20 rule. But frankly, I recommend just try to save as much as you can. um, and don't spend. Do do not spend. And then once you begin working full time, then you can, that's what I mean. Once you're still saving, right? Because that should not ever change. All throughout your adult life, you should always, as long as you work, you should continuously be saving. As long as you are bringing in any kind of income, a portion of that should always be saved. So that's one thing that our parents, like, again, our parents don't sit down and explain all this to us, blah blah blah. But yeah, you want to be saving as much as you can until you exit the call. You want to continuously being economically conscious the whole time you're in college. um, Spending wisely, cutting costs wherever you can. And I'll give you an example. If you notice, I really don't wear too much makeup. If you notice, my hair, it does whatever it pretty much wants to do. I I have friends who go and they get their hair and their makeup done all the time. They get their nails done and all of this. They spend a lot of time at the salon and all this. That's unnecessary spending. That's not a need. That's a want. And so, again, if you're trying to save money and spend wisely, you want to cut down anything that's unnecessary. So again, like if you're a guy, the same thing with the video games. I know some guys, they like to go every time there's a new, Air Jordans that come out or whatever, they want to be the first to get them. Again, those, if it's unnecessary spending, you don't want to continuously be going out to buy and buy and buy. You want to save money, as much of it as you can. All right. So, and again, I'm going to be listing information below of sites that can help you. I'm going to be listing books that can help you as far as with the socializing. But that's today's video. I hope this information helps you. And please, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. As well as if there's any topic that you'd like me to cover, please leave it below. Another thing is, again, we have the Facebook group. It's for teens, and on that site, we're listing everything. We're going to be trying to list any jobs that come up that we think that, teens may be interested in, or, that they may be, a good candidate for. They can see, any job listings on the Facebook group. So I'm going to list the Facebook group information below down in the description area. And again, we just want you to continuously feel like you can come. There's a source of resources. So thanks so much. Have a great weekend. Have a good week. Bye.